This is a continuation to our series tutorial. Today we cover UX design. We start by renaming our artboard, the main screen. Then create a copy. When we click on the new button, it should open a new screen where we enter new budget items. So name it as a new screen. You clean up the screen. We don't need some of UI elements. In this screen, we'll remove the cut item. We'll also remove the buttons. We'll be retaining two buttons, one for save and another one for cancel. This will be designed in Adobe Illustrator. So delete cut item. So we need to design the area where the new item UI elements will be held. So create a rectangular or a square shape depending on your app UI size. Then give it a color. So that will form as a background for the new items. We put new text. So select text tool and then drag to fit. Then name it item. So these are the name of the budget item will be keyed in. Make a copy and name it quantity. Make another copy. It's just copy paste, then you drag. Copy. And the UI elements here are dictated by the first screen. These were the items we had. If you add more, you can create additional UI elements. So you have item, quantity, and price. Then pick a rectangular box. Then create a square box. This will form as our text input. Make a copy for quantity and another copy for price. Arrange your UI elements so they align well. Then let's change our font and make it black and italics. That is, make it more bold. You can use any other setting. So add a font. You can use uppercase to change uppercase. Then select black and italics. It shows regular. It's for the font type. Font. Do this for all text. Then align them to fit the screen. We now design our UI buttons. So you have two buttons, one for cancel and the other one for add. It is to save the elements, to save the entries keyed in. So we open our Adobe Illustrator file for our app. We had designed the other UI elements. Since we already have some buttons which had been created, we just copy and paste and change the text. So copy the first one, select one and copy, then create a new layer, blank new layer, then you paste, then change the text. Click on new layer, then paste the new button, change the name of the layer to new, to add, then also change the name of child items, and also change the text, corresponding text. So call it add. Select the second one, rename to add. It's not selecting. Okay. Yeah, delete the text and add. Now we have 2D, 3D text for our button. We'll be replacing these with icons later as we update as we enhance our UI and UX design. So create another copy, a new layer, copy button, paste. This time we call it cancel. So rename the layer to cancel. Rename the first child as a cancel. The second one is cancel. And select the text within the button and change to cancel. Expand the text to fit using the select tool. Select the second text. Again, select the second text. Okay, let's hide the first layer and select the second one, cancel. Then expand again using the select tool. Then unhide the first layer and align now the text. Move the text to align. And select the main layer for this button. Select both text and move to the center. So we have the two buttons ready. So we start with the add. We need to export it. So select the first button. Go to file menu, then export. Export as a export for web, then click save and give it a name, cancel. Then select the second button for add. First disable the cancel button so that you export the add button. Then save for web. file menu, export as save for web, then save. So need to delete this text, yes. So I save the button again. We export the button again. Give it a name. So we go back to our Adobe XD file. Remember to save your work. So we go back to Adobe XD. Open the location where we saved our buttons. Then open each button and copy paste into our UI design. So we start with the add button, open in any image viewer, then copy and go to our Adobe XD. Delete one button and replace it with a new button for add. So copy, then paste. Resize the button and drag it to where our UI buttons are. Increase the size a bit. Then drag it at our button main element as a child. Then delete the cancel button. Delete the second button, sorry. Then copy and paste. Again resize and resize it to align well with the add button. So you can change the transform values for width and height to match our cancel button, then align them horizontally. Also add this as a child for the button element. So we have two screens. We create the second one for edit button, where now the user can click, a new screen will open where they can edit. So we go back to our prototype artboard. First we link the add button to our new screen. So when your user clicks new, they open the new button. You also link the cancel button back to the main screen. They click cancel, they are taken back to the main screen. Make a copy of the artboard again and create the edit screen so that when the user clicks the edit button, they are taken to the screen where they can edit. So copy the main screen, then rename it to edit screen. So we have the edit screen. Again, we remove the buttons. Remember, you cannot do this when it's on prototype. So click on first increase the zoom area so that you can be able to see the UI, especially where you'll be editing. We should be able to see cut item, then our budget item and the buttons, because those are the ones we are editing. So we first delink our new button. We'll be relinking all the buttons again. So delink the cancel button. So now we are ready to edit. First delete the cut item. And then we need to delete the checkboxes. We don't need them. In place, we have edit text, which is a hyperlink. When you click edit, it allows you now to edit the individual item. So delete all the checkboxes. Let's now add our text for editing. So within the UI, if you notice, this looks similar to the start screen. So we'll see how these in actual coding, how it works. So select, copy the text for select, replace this with edit. Make copies for each entry in our budget item. You notice this screen looks like similar to the entry screen. So when the current customer, when the user clicks on the edit button, it's the budget item screen that you just change the checkboxes to edit. Then user can update the data and save. So we have the button to save, another one to cancel. So let's copy our we first add another button for save. So we go back to our Illustrator file, make a copy of the active button, and we change the text to save, and also rename the layer to save. Hide the first child to edit the second one, type save, then rename the layer to save, then unhide. We have our 3D text, rename the main layer, then export, then save for web, then save and give it a name. So we open the file that we have exported, copy the new button and paste it in our UI. So first let's remove the buttons, then paste our new button, this size, and replace it at our button area. So the next button is cancel, copy and paste. We can copy the existing button and paste, or you can create a new button and save. So first we go to our button. Let's first rename this to save, then hide it and hide the cancel. Re-export now without the text. You notice the original header text. So I'm just re-exporting. You don't need to re-export yours. You can use the one that we exported earlier. So that's the text which has been removed. So if you open, The new button should not have that text. So copy and paste to replace the UI. So I'm first replacing the one for edit and resizing because it had a text. When you're exporting Android specific UI elements, you have an issue when trying to align your layout. So using the same button, we copy and paste it on the second screen. Use just drag to move. You can also use the scroll. So now paste our icon, then we resize to fit the same dimensions with the other button. Then align, create a space. So we have our edit screen. So let's create these the child, both of them. So we group, then rename this group to button, so that we know what each group stands for. So again, we go back to our main screen. We see the next button. So you can copy artboard and paste. So make sure you add a prototype. In prototype, you can see all your artboards. You can also so now we have our all artboards. So copy the main screen and duplicate. Make a copy. Then rename this to delete. Again, we will delete the checkbox. It's much easier if you copy the edit screen. So you just edit the edit text and replace it with delete. So we can delete that and copy our edit screen. It's much easier. Then rename it to delete screen. Then let's just replace the text for edit to delete. All the other UI elements remains as they are. During the database design, we'll decide whether we need the save button on this screen, or when the user clicks delete, they get a pop-up with a save button, which when they confirm that entry is deleted from database. This will be done when we are enhancing our UI in the next tutorial. So you have our delete screen. Again, just playing around with the zoom percentage that I can view all my artboards. So you have done delete. Now is the cut item and cut and shop screens. So the shop is where now when the user is doing the actual shopping, you can select the items that they are actually picking. Cart is where now you add the items from your budget items to your cart to compare with what you have. So let's make a copy for the edit screen. duplicate. We rename this to cut. When user clicks cut, a new screen will open with all items in our budget. Then they can delete what they don't need. So you have a delete button to remove the items that are not needed in the button. In the budget. We also remove the save button. As I said, even the delete screen will be coming to enhance. So you also create a new entry at the bottom for totals so that in your cart you can know the total items. So when you open this screen, you have all the items selected with the totals calculated. So you can be able to adjust this by either editing the individual items or deleting those that are not needed. So you also rename one of the titles where there was price and call it total, because now these are actual items that you'll be buying that you want to add to your cart. Confirm that the amount you have in the pocket aligns with what you want to buy before now you can go for actual shopping. So we also add text to remove the item. You can either remove or edit. So this button you have two functionalities: to remove item from your cart, say it's not assuming that item is not needed, or edit, either to add more quantity or to add just the price. And make sure you keep on saving. You duplicate again, so we have our cart screen which links to this button. Then when you cancel, you are taken back to the main screen. So the next screen is a shop. This is where now you do the actual shopping. You're in the supermarket. Just click on shop, then a screen pops up. Based on the actual price you're seeing, you can edit the prices and even adjust your quantity to fit within the amount you had budgeted. In the scenario where you're using paper and pen, you'd have gone and cancelled the items from the paper, but then you have to do the actual mathematics. So again, we have three selections here. One, either to remove the item completely from your shopping, say it's not in the counters, or you can edit to adjust price and quantity, or you can select, meaning that that item is selected, it's available. So you remove the button and replace the new button. You also don't need you need the cart item so that you can see the items you are buying. Again, it's the totals. So these we have three options, but as we enhance our UI in the next screen, we will make a decision on what to include. And the items we are adding, they define the database and the tables we have, and also the columns. So during the database design, it will be simpler. So I think for cut item, this we might also need the cut display at the top, but during the enhancement we'll decide on what items to add, which ones to drop. In actual programming, this might not be a new screen or the new scene we are creating. It might be the same entry screen where now, depending on the button you select, the UI elements change. So for shop shop screen, it's better we duplicate the delete and then add the text, because you have an option to delete the item from your shop, edit, or even select. So when you select, it is added on the actual database. When you delete, it is removed on your list of items to buy, and the totals will adjust accordingly. So we are about to finish with our design. It's now that time where we link our UI buttons. But when you click on new button, it takes you to the new screen. So make sure you add that prototype, then select the edit, then link it to edit screen. Select delete screen, link it to delete screen. Sorry, delete button to delete screen. Then cut button to cut screen. And finally our shop button to shop screen. So when you click on our prototype, you should be able to see that flow. So this is what we call UX design. Again, we link our cancel button back to the main screen. Cancel button for all the screens should be linked back to the main screen. So link all the cancel buttons back to the main screen. So we have our UX design ready. Just drag the the arrow that points. If there is no blue line that links, then just drag and drop on the screen that you want the user to be rerouted to. Save button. When you save, it should reroute you back to the main screen. So these are after you have done the actual shopping, or when you have edited and completed, or when your cart is ready. So again, as we enhance our UX, some of these might change. So this is not the final design. So now we can test our UX. On top right, click on the play button. That opens the simulator, which you can use to test your UI. At the bottom of each artboard, there is viewport height. This dictates what you can see within the simulator. So make sure it's equivalent to the height of each UI screen. So mine is 1920, sorry, based on my transform values for each artboard. So change 1920, and I believe this is also the same size. Some of the fonts 1920. So we just want them to fit within. So make sure you're on prototype, click on print. Now you have our UI fitting within our simulator. So make sure to select the first screen, then click play button. You should be able now to preview your design and play around with the buttons. But remember, this is not, we have not done coding. This is just the UX design within Adobe XD. And these are the this is the flow the client will have. So with this, you can decide whether the steps are too many and reduce, or you can add before now starting to code. So we'll also be trying and link these buttons. Then we'll be ready to export for Adobe for Android Studio coding. Thank you.